Men, women, children of all ages, come and see these awful spec banners. Uh, I'm only doing the 2 today, and then I'll cover the rest of them closer to the end of this one, because we get each of them for like 48 or 72 hours or whatever, it doesn't matter. So we do have spec banners coming. Instruments, magic attack, and artifacts are tomorrow on the 10th, and then we've got books, staves, and physical attack on the, I want to say it's the 12th. I can tell you in 2 seconds. It's the 13th, so we'll have each banner for about 3 days, which makes sense. Every rotation is 6-ish, so let's go over it. The instrument banner is up first. I've got all 3 pulled up from JP. Some of these weapons may get changed, so go ahead and figure that, like, just accept that. We've got a couple of weapons that are creeping up on the max limit break 7k threshold finally, so this is when things are going to get a little weird, and Pokelabo is going to have to figure it out one way or the other. It's very possible that we may end up getting just a 7k stat, just weapon, just chilling and hanging out and shit, but I don't know how likely that is this early. But we'll see. You don't know. So first up is the string instrument of the Evil Bone. This is the demonic instrument in the banner. That's the American name. The Evil Bone is what I'm calling it forever, because we got evil bones. So it's 5,200 stats at regular, 1,700 magical and physical attack. It increases the magic attack of 2 allies by a moderate amount. Support bone 2. If, for whatever reason, you decide to pull, because this is an okay banner, it depends. A lot of these banners depend on your guild makeup and what you're actually using. So going from Zengang to Elite, I have had to drop a lot of my physical attack stuff, because there's only like 1 or 2 sort of salad grids, and the rest of them are lean, more magical. So this is really good for me. It may not necessarily be as good for you. So these are sort of the things as a rear guard you always have to sort of take into account. Like, what's the future look like? What's my team comp makeup? Is anybody planning on switching? Because originally we had 4 breakers and a paladin. So Zengang was physical heavy, and then we ended up with 2 crushers, and then we slowly started shifting into 3 paladins and then 2 physical. But that didn't happen till pretty much damn near the end. So just keep that in mind. I'm going to be pulling probably about 4 or 5 on this one, just to see if I can get it. That's badass. I like that. Look, it's got flames on it. It goes faster. You know how cool that is? Next up is the Violin of Discipline. This one's been out for a while. It's 4,800 stats to start, so it's a little under. It's a tier 4 update to physical attack with Replenish Magic 2. Taking into account what I just said, if your guild needs physical attack, this is very, very good. The single target kind of sucks, and Replenish Magic is not my favorite, but usually you can squeeze 1 or 2 more instruments out or uses out per rotation, so sometimes it works out pretty well. The tier 4 physical attack, I've had this thing proc on a couple of support boons and give somebody 7. It was a once in a lifetime kind of thing. Cue the talking head singing. So don't expect that, but if your grids are built in a particular manner and you need it, this one's decent if you need physical attack. The stats are a little low, so you will probably end up replacing it at some point or another. So I wouldn't say really go real hard on this one. The Violin of Ancient Dynasty, if it had a different colo skill, I would tell you this is an absolute pull. Other than it has absolute duked on stats. It's got 4,000 stats, which is dog shit. And since we do have more physical stat or attack stats than we do defense stats, you only get 580 magical defense out of a stat you're trying to buff, and then 870 out of a regular one. You'll notice it's usually half of the stat that's doubled. Man, this sucks. The stats on this thing are real bad for a weapon we're getting 4 months in. Again, you have to sort of manage what your expectations are for a guild. As far as should you pull on this one, I'm leaning no. Obviously, if you can magically get the demonic instrument, it's pretty worth it. Otherwise, it's really mediocre. Discipline's good, but not good enough. I mean, it's usable. It's just not great. Ancient Dynasty, I love the idea that it's a tier 2 target, but you have a colo skill you're never going to level because it will never proc. Like, oh, well, if you run a mage. Yeah, I get it. I understand. I'm not. This dude's real good, though. 2 target, tier 2 magic attack up with Sport Boon 2, 5,200 stats. Go gimme. Also, look at that paint job. That adds like 5 miles an hour to this violin just for having the flames on it. All right, so instrument spec banner. If you are low on instruments, or you just need some L's to pad out, and also taking into account what your guild needs, mediocre to no pull. Like, I'm going to be doing a couple because I'm going to try to gamble to God to see if I can get this one, but I'm not super excited about this spec banner. Magic attack banner, because I'm not doing the artifact banner. The hallmark on this one's actually pretty good. So it's a great... It's a spear. Sorry, I don't know why I said great. I guess because I was looking at the word great, and I was like, great! They're great. It's Frosted Flakes. The weapon. It's good for all kids. It's great magical damage to 1 to 2 enemies and decrease their magical attack by a small amount. The debuff on this is middling. It depends on who you're going up against. But it's Dauntless Courage 2, and it's 5,200 stats off the rip. Almost to 6,700 at MLB. I don't think I would pull down this banner hard enough to MLB it. But that's a pretty good staff. Like, I like that staff a lot. Or I like that, this thing. The thingy with the stick on it. Oh, also that looks pretty badass. I like how it's got the 2 prongs and then you've got the crystals growing around it. Like, that actually looks cool as shit. So this is where things get a little weird because we don't have 100% confirmation, but these match up. So the most likely other 2 weapons, here, let me swap those, are a spear, the Dragoon's Holy Spear. So it's 2 attacks, increase your own magical attack by a little bit, 4,000 stats. Evil Hail of Assault, which is bleh. And then you've got magic attack debuff 2, which can be moderately good. This one's a... and then you've got the gun, which is essentially the same thing, except it's 1 target instead of 2, and it's still only 4,500 stats. It also has MDef debuff, so... Here's the thing. If... because I believe this was pulled off of the Korean server... So they should already be translated. So this is the likeliest of the magic attack spec banner. It is not guaranteed. Again, do not... Things could change drastically between today and tomorrow because Pokelabo has a way about them, which is fine. If this is the banner, that's a really good spear, but I don't know if it's worth juggling into the other 2. Just below 5k stats at this point is almost untenable. Like, there's almost no way to even bother with them unless you are MLBing them, and I would definitely not tell you to MLB any of these, like any of these 2. This dude, yeah, that's almost 7,000 stats. You MLB the shit out of that guy, but there's no guarantee on this banner, so pull at your own risk. I mean, this staff will probably get used for a while, but these other 2 are just, they're a garbage fire. So keep that in mind when you're pulling. I wouldn't recommend anybody go deep on the magic attack banner, because if this is it, the top end is really, really good, but the bottom end is significantly worse. As far as the instruments go, I feel kind of the same way. Like, their top end is very, very strong, while their bottom end is significantly weaker. And that's if these match up. This banner, spec banners are always pending a change. So don't take any of these should you pulls 100% as gospel. I'm just sort of comparing the banners that had these the first time as first appearances. So that's usually when you start seeing them. So that is it from me. We've got links to Milk Gaming and Elite, who we are now in the guild for. we'll see if I end up lasting. I am a significant margin behind everybody else, which I understand is kind of shitty. And I don't like being a burden, but I get it. So we'll see. So the too long didn't read is instrument banner. Risk maybe a couple to go for the top tier banner weapon and then skip the rest of it. Rear Vanguard for magic attack, I would honestly say probably lean away from this one. You obviously have a chance to pull any SR that's in the game off banner, but pulling like either of these would just be disappointing, even if the Pride of the Executioner is really, really good. All right, that's it. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell us what you're looking forward to. Tell us what's going on in your life. How's everybody doing? Are we doing okay? Thanksgiving is coming. Are we ready for the poundage?